Mon Regio Dolphins. Welcome back to another Read Aloud. This is for our kinder through third graders. I am really excited today. So if you remember, we did an author study on Andrea Beatty. Those were the books Rosie Revere, Engineer, Ada Twist, Scientist, and Iggy Peck, Architect. And I had told you that a new book had come out by her, and I was really hoping to get my hands on it. Well, sure enough, I have it here today. I got to read it to my daughter last night, and she loved it. So I'm very excited to read this with you today. It's called Sofia Valdez, Future Prez. It's by Andrea Beatty, and the illustrations, the pictures, are by David Roberts. Here we go. Sofia was a baby who got things done, helping her family before she turned 1. What is she doing in that picture? Yeah, watering plants. She and Abuelo went out every week to help elderly friends around Blue River Creek who couldn't get out and about on their own and with no place to gather were stuck home alone. People are kind of stuck home alone right now, aren't they? So there are other people, maybe you guys are doing this too, for family members who are going grocery shopping to help people out, taking their animals maybe for walks, but trying to help and look out for their neighbors. Raking the leaves, taking pets for a walk, or just dropping by for a treat and a talk. Sofia Valdez did as much as she could for her family and friends and her whole neighborhood. A dreamer, a doer, a real-life go-getter. Most people like good, but Sofia liked better. Each morning, Abuelo walked Sophie to class. They walked home again along Blue River Pass, making plans, munching cookies, Abuelo and girl, except for that Tuesday when Pup saw the squirrel. With a howl, Pup took off, racing all through the town, over, under, beneath, and around. Sofia scrambled to try to keep up with the hollering man and the bellowing Pup. Oh my goodness. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen next? Let's find out. Up the squirrel ran to the top of a hill made of leftover junk for the local landfill. They reached the tip top of that mountain of trash, which jiggled and broke with an ear-splitting crash. Oh no. Look at who's on top of that junk pile. What do you think's going to happen? Let's see if somebody got hurt. Down they all tumbled and hit with a thud on a moldy old pumpkin surrounded by mud. Ouch, cried Abuelo. He struggled to stand. A dangerous mess, he said, grasping her hand. Oh no. I'm getting even the dogs upside down. The next day, Sofia walked to school solo, but it wasn't the same without her Abuelo. This is not right, declared young Sofia, who glared at Mount Trashmore and got an idea. The very next morning at dawn, she planted a sign at the front of the lawn. She stood back and smiled, and Pup gave a bark. Get rid of Mount Trashmore. Let's build a new park. A park is much better than a trash pile. Each of her neighbors had something to say about benches and fountains and places to play, meeting spots, gardens, a basket for bees, a rubber duck pond, and a kiosk of cheese. She knew every thought on her map of the park, which was perfectly perfect by a quarter till dark. So it looks like she's taking down everybody's ideas and writing them down. What would be great to have in a park? What would you like to have in a park if you were to build a park? Share your ideas with a parent. She drifted to sleep in her soft, cozy bed. Then, bam, she woke up with a thought smacked in her head. Her heart skipped a beat as she realized each one of her neighbors had said, "Let me know when it's done." They all thought Sofia could build it alone, but how could one girl do so much on her own? The weight of that thought made her tender heart ache as night thunder growled and she laid wide awake. Then dawn brought a storm, and the gloomy sky wept, and the heartsick Sophia finally slept. Look at that face. What do you think she's thinking? Maybe, how can I do it? I'm just one person. Abuelo baked cookies when Sophie got up. He gave her a bagful and sneaked one to Pup. He blinked back a tear as he hugged his Sophia. For courage, he whispered, Te amo, mi vida. Sophia's knees wobbled. She felt weak inside. She looked at his ankle and quite nearly cried. Though she didn't feel brave or courageous at all, Sofia Valdez went to face City Hall. You can see Abuelo hurt his ankle there. Yeah. So she's off to City Hall. One little person in front of such a big building. Let's see what happens. The mayor's office sent her to room 401, the Blue River Creek Department of Fun, which sent her downstairs to room 302, the Office of Duck Ponds and Cool Things to Do, to the Office of Monkeys, the Department of Cheese, the Division of Fountains and Meetings and Bees, then down to the basement so musty and cramped, where all the town's papers were sorted and stamped. And that's where the clerk said what no one else did. You can't build a new park. You're only a kid. The word smacked Sophia deep down in her heart. Her plan was kibosh before it could start. I think, said Sophia, I think that law's wrong. But her second grade voice didn't sound very strong. The clerk said, clearly it cannot be done. Do you have any questions? Sophia said, one. If you were me, and if I was you, and he was your grandpa, what would you do? Well, said the clerk. Then she said nothing at all. She thought and she thought, then she sent out a call to every employee throughout City Hall. The entire government of Blue River Creek crammed into the office to hear Sophie speak. But her words jumbled up and her cheeks turned bright red as a dozen emotions rushed into her head. Her heart beat so loudly she thought it could crack. The crowd leaned in closer. Sophia leaned back. Then her arm brushed the edge of the old cookie sack. And that was the moment when Sophia first knew being brave means doing the thing you must do. Though your heart cracks with fear, though you're just in grade 2. Look at all those adults looking at her. She took a deep breath, looked the mayor in the eye, and though her knees wobbled, she held her head high. Sophia started talking. She spelled out her plan and why it all mattered and how it began. And once she got rolling, she had lots to say about meeting spots, monkeys, and places to play, and other ideas for things they could do to help the town elders and other folks too. She had thoughts on the library, thoughts on the zoo, and perhaps a way to combine the two. And... okay, look at these pictures closely. What do you see? What are all those different ideas? Point them out. I see a lot. The rubber duck pond, a library for monkeys, basket for bees, the cheese fountain, Lona Llama. All right, cried the mayor, go start a petition. If the town wants a new park, we'll form a commission. And so young Sophia got right to work with some help from her family and Pup and the clerk. Let's build a park for everyone. Sign our petition, please. Look at all those people. Then others joined in, not all but a few, like Miss Lila Greer and the kids in grade 2. Check out, there's the class. Take a look. Can you identify where Rosie Revere is? What about Ada Twist Scientist? Or Iggy Peck Architect? Yep, they all made it. There were hearings and surveys and taxes to figure, then bulldozers, cranes, and a blue bigger digger. They all built that park. That's how it got done, with the hard work of, by, and for everyone. But it began with the dream of one person, just one, who laced up her shoes and then led the way to help Blue River Creek get a new place to play. Now, every evening till long after dark, the town comes together at Citizens Park. They all hold this truth to be self-evident, that Sofia Valdez could grow up to be president. Until then, Sofia, that real-life go-getter, helps Blue River Creek get better and better. Check that out. Pretty exciting. So, what I love about this new book is that it's not just all about Sofia helping her community, but it's about being brave enough to stand up for what's right and to have a voice for her community to try to get things done. So I want you to think about that. What is something right now in your community that you would really love to see change? Maybe, for example, if you're in an apartment building and you don't have a play structure or a park or a place for you to do homework, maybe that's something that you would love to see. Or maybe in your neighborhood, if you feel like as a community you would love to see your neighbors get together and do things together, think about what could better even our school. Maybe you have some ideas of what we could do here at Don Regio to make it better. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to either draw a picture of your plan or write me what that plan would look like. Write down what you would want to see changed and how would you go about doing it and what are some ideas that you have to make this world better. Because that's what's great about this, is that when we take our ideas and are brave enough to have our voices be heard, we can be the change we wish to see in this world. We have that power. And I want to inspire you to make change. So that's your task today. Think about what you could do in your apartment building, in your neighborhood, here at Don Regio to make it a better place. Either draw a picture or write out what that plan would be. I really had a great time reading this story to you. I love Andrea Beatty. She's my favorite. I look forward to reading with you guys again tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. Bye, dolphins.